know he's bigger than you, but next time take a few steps back and then go for it. And also, my grandma, okay, she's this boss-ass bitch. And she basically, when she was raising me, the first 3 years, I went to nursery, and there was this boy that was much bigger than me that used to, like, push all the children over. And he used to, like, bite them. Yeah, like, push
and she's
them
like,
and
hell
bite them.
no, you're not pushing my child.
Yeah, and she literally said to me, she was like, right, she sat me down. It was like an intervention. She was like, right, this can't keep going on because you are better than this. You can do that back. If he pushes you, I know he's bigger than you, but next time, take a few steps back and then go for it. And so I went back the next day to nursery and just started doing that randomly to every single person that I met. And then my grandma got a phone call. She was just like, what the fuck happened to your child? Like, she's now bullying everyone. She's pushing everyone over. She's now biting everyone. Like, what is happening? Yeah, I was a nightmare child. Like,
and you're like, so what? You gave me permission.
Yeah, my grandma was just, like, so crazy. But I think, like, now I, like, in my life choices and, like, hobbies and stuff, I'm quite, like, decisive, and I'm quite, like, I don't mind taking risks, and I don't mind just going for something, because I think she instilled that kind of attitude in me.
That's so awesome.
Lovely.
That's really
so
cool.
inspiring. Like I love that, hearing like positive family member like kind of stories. Like, you know, like your hero. Like
and
like,
it was, looking back, it was pretty risky as a child. Like, she made me do, she didn't make me do, she like encouraged me to just go for a lot of things that maybe I wasn't like ready for. Like for example, another time, like, I was in a playground and there were some much bigger kids, like 10-year-olds, running down the slide instead of sliding down the slide. And I was maybe 4 years old, and I was looking at them like, oh, they're having so much fun. My grandma's just like, just do it. Just run down the slide.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and just dangerous, like, kind of dangerous things like that. But I was fine in the
That's
end.
actually really cool.
Yeah, she gave no shits. It worked out in the end, and now I guess I'm benefiting from it.
Yeah, for sure.
Melanie, what was that thing that you were saying earlier about doing things that you're scared of?
Yeah, so I'm reading this book at the moment, and they talk about actually like how, like, you know, trying something new every day, or putting yourself in a situation that makes you feel uncomfortable, or learning something new, like basically mental exercises, but it's just like, it's so good for you, like in helping you live longer. But also, like, even if it gives you anxiety doing this thing, it's actually more beneficial in your like kind of long-term health than just not doing it and kind of like shying yourself away. So it's like a routine is really good, but you have to incorporate in that routine something new, or like learning something new, or trying something new, meeting new people, putting yourself in new situations. Because it has been proven, like this book was like a study about all the people who have like lived, like communities who have lived over the age of like 100 and like in their 90s and stuff. And so it's like proven that it will make you live longer, which is amazing. Yeah. So your grandmother like instilled that into you, like, and you get to carry that and pass that along to other people you meet, and like your family, like everything. It's really cool.
I hope so.
My
mom got very angry at her though. Every time she'd be like, "You gave her sweets again."
That's what grandma's supposed to do.
Yeah, I just like bouncing off the walls, like not able to sleep at night. My grandma would just like slip like a whole bag of like gummy bears in my pocket and stuff.
Oh my god. I want your grandma to be my grandma.
She's so cute.
That's so nice.
That's so heartwarming. No, that's awesome. Like, I feel like, you know, fear and doubt is definitely what stops people from achieving things. Definitely kind of been my mind killer, which I'm like trying to overcome. So I think that's super fucking cool. Like, I'm gonna take that as a tip for when I have kids. Just like push them off a slide and shit.
Just push them. Tell them to push the kids back. Tell them to be the bully.
No, like my mom was kind of like that in a way. Like, she was so encouraging, but also she was like, stand up for yourself, because like, I can't help you, I'm not there. So like, I remember I was 7 years old. I used to started riding the bus by myself, so getting the bus after school and to school. And there was this kid who was in my grade, and he would kick me on the bus, and I was really tiny. Like, he would kick my little shins, and I came home with like bruised shins every day. And I was like, Mom, this boy on the bus keeps kicking me. And of course she said the typical thing, because my mom's very like down south southern, like she didn't realize it was a misogynistic comment at the moment, but she was like, oh, he must like you, but that doesn't mean he can do that. So she was like, the next time you get off the bus, right before you get off the bus, so he doesn't have time to tell the bus driver on you, she was like, just before, she was like, make sure you sit behind him, so that when you walk past him, you kick the fuck out of him.
Wow.
And then you go off the bus and leave. And I did that, and he never messed with me again.
Oh, wow.
Literally never. Yeah.
You
love
boss
things
ass
like
bitch.
Yeah. Raised by strong women.
Yeah, literally. Got to.
My grandma, I think she gets it from, she was born in a really hard time. So it was during like the Japanese invasion of China.
Yeah.
So their family, they had like 8 siblings. And her mom was just like taking all of these kids with her and just like running. They were just on the run.
Oh my God.
They had to go from city to city. Like all of their names, they're named after each city they were born in, because they were just like moving constantly, trying to escape from the Japanese army. And so from that, like she had to deal with a lot of danger from a very young age. And her mom, like my great grandma, she was the first of any woman in our family to just say, no, I don't want to stay at home and be a housewife. I want to go out and get an education. Like she just said, fuck this shit, I'm gonna go get a degree. And she like became
so
like a
cool.
self-made, like she became really rich, like just off her own back. And she was really successful. And so she raised my grandma into the same kind of like mentality with the same mentality. And my grandma was always giving me like pep talks, just saying like, you can do this too. Like look at all of our stories, that you come from a legacy of like strong women. You have to be a strong woman. Like just even if it's even if I'm doing something that she doesn't necessarily understand or like agree with fully, she will always have my back, like, no matter what. And she knows that. She tells me that if this is something that you want, if this is something that you really believe in, just fucking go for it.
That's so cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, which is so rare for Chinese, especially like the older generation. Is so rare. So I feel really lucky.
Do you tell your grandma about all your activism work and everything that's going on?
Yeah, I tell them. And actually, like at the start when I was doing all, my parents were really unsure about it, because for them, like they came over here and they were very much like they had to put their heads down and work hard and just ignore like oppression and ignore like nasty comments from people, because their main concern was to build a foundation for their family, to make a life for their family. So for them, they kind of like got used to just having to ignore it. And that's what they thought was easiest. And so they really didn't want me to do this kind of stuff, because they're like, you're too outspoken, that you're going to be picked on more. It's all things like stemming from how they grew up and how like the things that they've experienced here. They've had to bury a lot of their own traumas, so they were just trying to protect me from it. But my grandma and my grandpa, they had no idea about the discrimination issues in the UK, because they think they've never lived here and they've never experienced it. So to them, it was just a whole like different topic that they've never really thought about. But once they heard about it, because I phone them like almost every week.
That's nice.
That's so nice.
Yeah, just update them. They love being updated on anything. And they just were really happy that I was doing it, and they just, which is unusual, because in China, like being very, very outspoken, being an activist isn't really something that's entirely encouraged
Yeah.
because of the political situation.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it kind of like frowned upon?
Yeah. It's frowned upon to like be a named person that like speaks up for people and like a person in the community that people can look up to, that can like rally people together. That's not really something that people like to do. So because it can like cause you trouble and stuff.
I was gonna say, would it kind of, I don't know, depending on what you're, you know, being an activist about, or depending on the situation, maybe like the government could get involved and like try and maybe shut you down in a way, or I don't know. I don't really. Yeah.
It's a difficult topic because I've also never lived there. So I don't know what the situation is like. And I know that there are lots of really inspiring activists who are Chinese and who live in China. So obviously it's something that can go ahead and can be done. But you just, the general consensus is don't like stick out. Don't like,
don't
just
put a
work
target
hard
on your back.
Yeah, don't put a target on your back. Just work hard. Like all you need is to be successful and then you're fine. So I was really surprised when they just were all 100% for it from day one. Just telling me that everything is gonna be okay and that they were really sad. They'd spend ages messaging, like they have this this keyboard system in like China where they write out the characters. So it takes them forever because they have to write out every single character. And also they're not that good with phones. So when they send me a long message and know it would have taken them like 3 hours to write. But every time we have like a deep conversation about something that I've been up to, they'll send me like one of these long messages, and it just means so much to me because I know like so much time and like energy went into that, and I know that every single word is like from their heart.